Hello students, in this video we are going to study the remaining part of the chapter number 8 of class 6 subject science NCERT. The chapter name is body movements. So in the previous video we had seen about the different types of body movements in the different animals. Then after we had seen human body and its movements. And we had also seen some of the activities, and then after we had seen different kinds of joints like ball and socket joint, then pivotal joint, hinge joint, fixed joint. So these are the some of the joints we had seen. Then after we had seen about the skeleton and cartilage and different bones which help in our movement, body movement. Then after we had seen how the muscles can help in this motion or movement. So now let we continue the chapter with the gait of animals. So the next topic is gait of animals. Gait, that means pattern of walking or pattern of motion or movement. So now let we see the movements in animals. So here let we start with the earthworm. So for that one activity is given to you. Observe an earthworm moving on the soil and then after gently lift this earthworm and place it on a piece of blotting paper, or also you can also use filter paper, and then after observe its movement and then place this earthworm on the smooth glass plate or slippery surface and again observe its movement. So is it different from the on the paper, and in which of the above two surfaces do you find that the earthworm is able to move easily? So after performing this activity, or if you had observed earlier, then you will find that an earthworm cannot move on the slippery surfaces like glass, but it moves easily in the soil or on the paper, filter paper. So now the body of the earthworm is made up of many rings joined end to end. So now how the earthworm moves on the soil, that we see. So it is made up of, this body is made up of many rings which are joined together, and an earthworm does not have any bones and it has muscles which helps to extend and shorten the body. That means these muscles helps to increase and decrease the size of the body. So now let me see the movement in the earthworm. So if the earthworm is moving in this direction, then during this movement the earthworm first extends its front part of the body. That means it extends this part of the body, and at the same time it fixes the rear portion of the body to the ground. So at this time it fixes this rear part on the ground, and then after it fixes the front part or front end, and then after it releases this one rear or back end, and it then shortens the body and pull the rear end forward, and then after it shortens the body here, it is as it is shown to you, and it pull the rear part or back part in the forward direction. So this make the earthworm to move forward by a small distance, and this repeating such muscles expansions and contractions, the earthworm can move through the soil. Here the expansions of muscles of expansion and contraction of muscles of earthworm can make the movement in earthworm possible. And to help this, its body also secretes a slimy substance, that means a sticky and wet substance, to help the movement. Now how does it fix parts of its body to the ground? So under its body it has the large number of tiny bristles, or you can say hair like structure, which are projecting out, or you can say which are coming out, and these bristles are connected with the muscles. The bristles help to get the good grip on the ground. Because of these bristles the earthworm can make a good grip on the ground, or it can hold the ground. Now the earthworm actually eats its way through the soil. That means earthworm eats its own way. That means earthworm eats soil. The soil is the food for earthworm, and its body then throw away the undigested part of the materials that it eats. And this activity of an earthworm makes the soil more useful for the plants. So that's why we can say that the earthworms are friends of farmers. because by doing this movement they make the soil more fertile, and the exchange of air can be more possible in the soil where the earthworms are there. Now next animal is about snail. So movement in snail. For that, next activity number 6 is given to you. So observe a snail in your garden or in the field. Have you seen the rounded structure it carries on its back like this? So this is called the shell, and it is the outer skeleton of the snail. This one is the outer skeleton of the snail, and but it is not the made up of bones. The shell is a single unit and does not help in the moving from place to place, and it has to be dragged alone. It do not have any bones, and it also do not help in the movement, and it is dragged along with the other body parts. So place this snail on a glass plate and watch it, and when it starts moving, carefully lift the glass plate along with the snail over your head. That means you have to see the back part of the snail, how it is moving. So you have to put it on the glass plate, and then after lift the glass plate above your head and observe the backward part of the or bottom of this glass plate, and observe its movement from the beneath. A thick structure, you will find that a thick structure and the head of the snail may come out of an opening in the shell. This one thick structure, and this one is mouth of the snail coming out from the shell. You can see that, and the thick structure is its foot. So this one is the foot of the snail and made up of strong muscles. Now carefully tilt the glass plate. Then that means you have to slightly bend this glass plate so the wavy motion of the foot can be seen. You will find the wavy motion which is made by the snail. And is the movement of the snail slow or fast as compared to an earthworm? So after performing this activity, you will find that the snail move very slowly as compared to the earthworm. So this is the movement in the snail. Now our next animal is about cockroach. Movement in the cockroaches. So for that, next activity is given to you, activity number 7. Observe the cockroach. So cockroaches walk and climb, as well as it can also fly in the air. They have 3 pairs of legs, so that means they have total 6 legs. This help in walking, and the body covered with a hard outer skeleton. This cockroach has the outer skeleton, and this outer skeleton is made up of number of plates which are joined together, and that permits or that allows the movement in the cockroach. So there are 2 pairs of wings attached to the body behind the head. Behind this head there are the 2 pair of wings are there, and the cockroaches have distinct muscles, that means different muscles. Those near the leg moves the leg for walking. These legs help in the movement of the walking, and the body muscles move the wings when the cockroach flies. Now when the cockroach flies, the body muscles of the cockroach help in the flying. So this is the motion or movement in the cockroaches. Now next is birds. So birds fly in the air and walk on the ground. Some birds like ducks, swans also swim in water. So the birds can fly because their bodies are well suited for flying. Their bones are hollow, that means they are empty from inside, and light in weight, and the bones of the hind limbs, that means back legs, limbs that means legs or arms. So the bones of the back legs are typical for walking and perching, that means sitting. The back legs are there for the walking as well as for sitting, and the bony parts of the forelimbs, that means the limbs which are for front limbs, are modified as the wings. Here in the picture it is shown to you, these forelimbs are modified in the wings, and the shoulder bones are strong, and the breast bones are modified to hold the muscles of flight which are used to move the wings up and down. This body or chest muscles are here muscles are not shown to you, but these muscles are modified and it helps to wings in the flight to move it up and down. So this is the movement in the birds. This one is the skeleton of bird is shown to you. Now next animal is about fish. For that, next activity number 8 is given to you. Make a paper boat and put it in a water and push it with a one narrow end pointing forward. Here in the figure, first figure, it is shown to you like this. Try to push this boat from this end and observe, did it go into the water easily, and then after hold the boat sideways, and then after put it in the water, and from the broadside, are you able to make the boat move in water when you push it from the side like this one? So after performing this activity, you will find that the body of the fish, or when the boat is pushed on the narrow end, it pointing forwards, it moves easily in the water as compared to when you push from the sideway. So now have you noticed that here the picture of fish is shown to you. So from this picture, can you notice that the shape of a boat is somewhat like a fish, and the head and tail of the fish are similar than the middle portion of the body, and the body tapers at both this end. Tapers, that means it has reduced in thickness, so the fish body is pointed towards the both the ends, and in the middle portion it is longer in the thickness. So this body shape is known as the streamlined body. So we can say that fish has this streamlined body. Now the shape is such that the water can flow around it easily and allow the fish to move in the water. The shape of the fish is such type that it allows the water to move from the side of the fish, and the skeleton of the fish is covered with strong muscles, and during swimming the muscles make the front part of the body curve to one side and the tail part swing towards the opposite side. In the picture it is shown to you here. The front part make the curve and the tail will move in the opposite direction. The fish forms a curve. Here it is shown to you in the figure. Then quickly the body and tail curve to the other side. This makes a jerk and pushes the body or fish body forward. Suddenly this body part again move on the opposite side, and it will form a curve, and the tail will move in the opposite direction. So this will create the jerks, and because of these jerks fish is able to move forward, and a series of such jerks make a fish swim ahead, and this is helped by the fins of the tail, and in this the fins also help the fish. Fish also have other fins on their body which mainly help to keep the balance of the body and to keep the direction, which are there on this side like this one. These are the fins. While swimming, did you ever notice that underwater divers wear fin-like flippers on their feet? The divers also wear fin-like flippers on their feet to help them move easily in the water. This is the reason why they are wearing flippers. So this is the movement in the fish. Now next is about snake. So how do snakes move? So have you ever seen a snake slither, or you can say sliding? So does it move straight direction? So you will say that no, the snake will not move in this straight direction. Here in the picture it is also shown to you that snake is not moving in this straight direction. The snake has a big long backbone. It has the big long backbone, and they have many thin muscles. They are connected to each other even though they are far from one another. However, they are connected to each other, and these muscles help in the movement. And muscles also interconnect the backbone, ribs and skin. These all parts are connected with the muscles. The snake's body curves into many loops. Like this loop, the snake snake's body curves, or it makes the many loops, and each loop of the snake gives it a forward push by pressing against the ground. This loop press the against the ground, and by this pushing it get the forward motion, or forward in the forward direction it get the movement. So since its long body makes many loops, each loop gives it this push, and the snake moves forward very fast and not in a straight line, but it will move like this wavy part. So this is the movement about snake, or movement in this snake. So in this chapter we have learned about the use of bones and muscles for the movements of different animals, and Paheli and Bujo have many questions in their sex about different movements in animals. Still Bujo and Paheli has many questions, so must you be having unanswered question buzzing in your mind. I'm sure you also might have some of the questions like this. The ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle, in his book which is named by Gate of Animals, asked himself about these questions, that why do different animals have the body parts that they do have, and how do these body parts help animals to move the way they do. Like in the example of fish has the body part like fins. So how these fins help to move or to swim the fish? So that one we had seen. So the Aristotle asked himself some questions like this, and then after what are the similarities and differences in these body parts between different animals, how the wings are different, or the wings or forelimbs, which we had seen that wings are the modified parts of the forelimbs. So how the forelimbs of a bird and a human is different or similar from each other, and how many body parts are needed by different animals for moving from place to place, and why two legs for humans and four for cows and buffaloes. Many animals seem to be having an even many numbers of legs. So why they do have this much of legs, and why is the bending of our legs different from our arms? So many questions, and perhaps we have looked for some of the answer from this some question we had find the answers for some of the question through the activities in this chapter. We need to look for many more answer in the upper classes. So here our chapter gets over. Here some fact about yoga is given to you for better health. So yoga for a better health. Let me see about yoga. So yoga is an invaluable gift of the ancient Indian tradition. And the United Nations declared 21st June as the International Day of Yoga. Yoga keeps a person healthy. This is the importance of yoga is given to you. It keeps us healthy. It helps in keeping the backbone erect, that means straight, enabling you to sit straight and not slouch. Slouch, that means sitting in a lazy manner. So it enable or this keep your backbone straight, and many posture in the yoga requires you to lift your own weight, and which helps in making the bones strong and help ward of osteoporosis. It also help ward off osteoporosis, that means remove. So it helps to remove the osteoporosis, that is the condition in which the bones become weak and brittle. So the yoga helps in such kind of disease also. It also helps in relieving joint pain, which is mostly observed in elderly person, and it turns all the muscles in the body and keeps them active. It keeps the muscles active, and it also keeps the heart healthy, and muscles it work more efficiently, makes it work more efficiently. It makes the heart work more efficiently, and certain yoga postures should be performed under the supervision of a trained person. And certain some of the yoga which we don't know, so we have to perform that kind of posture of yoga under the supervision of trained person. So that is the about yoga. So here the hard words for this chapter is given to you. Let me see quickly. The first one is backbone, ball and socket joint, bristles, cartilage, cavity, fixed joint, gait of animals, hinge joint. The next one is muscle, outer skeleton, pelvic bones, pivotal joint, rib cage, shoulder bones, skeleton and streamline. So these are the hard words you have to write in your notebook. So now let me see the summary of this chapter. The bones and cartilage forms the skeleton of the human body, and it gives the frame and shape to the body and helps in the movement. It protects the inner parts also, or inner organs. Then we had seen that the human skeleton comprises the skull, the backbone, ribs and the breastbone, shoulder and hip bones, and the bones of hands and legs. Then we had seen that the bones are moved by alternative contractions and relaxations of two sets of muscles. The next we had seen that the bone joints are of various kinds depending on the nature of joints and direction of movements they allow. The next we had seen that strong muscles and light bones work together to help the birds fly, and they fly by flapping their wings. Fish swim by forming loops alternately on the two sides of the body, so that means it moves the fins in the opposite directions. The snake slithers or slide on the ground by looping sideways. A large number of bones and associated muscles push the body forward. The next we had seen that is the body and legs of cockroaches have hard coverings for forming an outer skeleton of the cockroach, and the muscles of the breast connected to the three pairs of legs, two pairs of wings help the cockroach to walk and fly. The next we had seen that earthworms move by alternate extension and contraction of the body using the muscles, and these tiny bristles are there underside of the body help in gripping the ground. And at the end we had seen that snails move with the help of muscular foot. So these are the things we had seen in this chapter number 8, body movements. So here with the chapter number 8 our semester 1 syllabus also gets over, that is from chapter number 1 to 8. These all 8 chapters you have to prepare for your unit test 3 and sem 1 examination. Anything from the textbook exercise as well as extra exercise can be asked in your exam. You will find the extra exercise and textbook solution in your study material. So you have to refer those extra exercise and textbook solution, and you have to prepare each and every question. Anything can be asked from these chapters. In the next video, we will see the textbook solution for this chapter number 8 before ending our syllabus. Thank you.